Are you tired of being tired, or are you tired of being sick and tired? This is the most common reasons why people have fatigue, and some ideas of what to do about it and how to improve your life. Hello everyone, this is Dr. Jason West, and the most common thing that I see in practice, the most common clinical complaint is fatigue. People are tired, they're out of gas, they're out of energy. Now that may not be the number one reason that they come into the office. They may be coming in because of a sprained ankle or a headache or a hormone imbalance or their stomach isn't right. And then when you ask them, well, what is the next concern that you have? If I had a magic wand and I could wave it at you and I could fix one thing, what would it be? And typically they'll say their number one concern, and then it's always fatigue. I don't have the energy, I have brain fog, I go to sleep and I wake up, I don't feel refreshed. And so let's talk about some of the most common problems with fatigue. Well, one of the biggest things we want to make sure is that you have enough fuel in your system and that your blood is healthy. And iron deficiency, anemia, and your red blood cells, they're like trucks on the freeway. They take supplies from town to town. If you don't have enough of the right minerals in your system, if you have too much iron, it's a problem. If you have too little iron, it's a problem. And so some standard routine, simple, inexpensive blood tests can help say if you have anemia. Now, the second reason biggest reason for fatigue is you don't have a very good sleeping sanctuary and you're not getting very good rest. And so what happens is people will be on an alternating schedule. They don't go to bed at the same time. They don't get up at the same time. Their sleeping sanctuary, they don't have a very good bed. They have too much light. They have too much sound, too much heat, and they can't get into rapid eye movement or REM sleep. And so they'll go to bed and then they'll wake up and they'll say, I could go right back to sleep. I don't get into restorative sleep mode. So where you sleep is essential for health. If you can't sleep, you can't heal. Another thing that happens, and I found this to be true myself, is when people are really tired, you have to have just a little bit of energy to power everything off. And I tell people, you know what? Pretend like your body is this great big plant and all of the workers leave because you're done with your daily activities, and there's a night watchman that's going around and he's trying to figure out, shut everything down. He's making sure all the doors are locked, and he goes over to the power breaker and he has to reach up to be able to pull and turn the power off for the whole plant. And if you don't have enough power to reach up, you need a little bit of adrenaline to actually get into sleep mode. And sometimes people are way too tired to actually be able to reach up and turn the power off. And so you need a little bit of energy to actually make you go to sleep. The other thing that happens when people are taking over-the-counter natural sleep aids is sometimes they're so doggone tired that they take one of those sleep aids and they have increased their sleep apnea. Now, sleep apnea basically means you're not getting enough oxygen, you're not breathing consistently, and when you take one of those sleep aids, what happens is you zonk so hard, it increases your sleep apnea and you're more tired. And I learned that from the Sleep Institute here in town. I went actually in for a sleep study because I thought I had sleep apnea. I'm happy to report to you that I don't, and mine is more or less stress related. I have one of those little woodpeckers on the side of my body that's saying, well, what about this, and what about this, and what about that, and how I manage that, which is a really good suggestion that comes from our sleep video, is actually to take a blank sheet of paper, have nothing on it, take a pen or pencil, some type of writing utensil, and write out whatever your healthcare concerns on the piece of paper. Because when you data dump and you put everything on there, it has a tendency to get rid of those circling thoughts when your mind can't shut off. It's one of my favorite things you can do to help with restorative sleep patterns. The other causes of fatigue is too much stress. Now, I wish there was a magic pill or treatment or lotion or potion to get rid of stress. It's really how you manage stress. We talk about this in the stress video in our series that we have. But if you can help manage your stress by doing something that relieves your nervous system, and for some people it's exercise, some people it's reading, some people it's talking to someone in their inner circle, other people it's meditating or journaling or praying or whatever it is, you've got to have a stress outlet. When you just internalize stress, it causes disease and it makes it so that you don't sleep very well. Now, the other reasons for fatigue are chronic infection. And I see these all the time, and you can have a wonderful understanding of what's happening in your body by doing your annual blood test. You can do a complete blood cell count with auto differentiation. You look at your white blood cell count, which should be between 6 and 8, And then you look at the differentiate. Your neutrophils, which your bacterial fighters, are 60. Your lymphocytes or your viral fighters should be 30. Your monocytes should be 8. Your eosinophils should be 3. And your basophils should essentially be 0. Now, what happens all the time in chronic fatigue patterns is the immune system count will go down. Usually it's hovering around that, between that 3.5 and 5 range, which is low normal. And their lymphocyte count, which is the viral count, goes up. What that means is you have a chronic viral infection, and it could be the shingles virus or the rotavirus, the rhinovirus, the cytomegalovirus, Epstein-Barr, the herpes simplex 1 or simplex 2 virus, and it's in your system, and basically it's a slow boil. Your immune system doesn't have enough mojo to completely get rid of it, and it's just debilitating for people. So with chronic viral patterns, you want to upregulate as much as you can the immune system with either IV vitamin C. You can do dilute hydrogen peroxide. Some of those are the most aggressive treatments. Elderberry, Lomatia, liposomal vitamin C, Epiimmune, shiitake mushrooms, golden seal. There's all these wonderful things. Now, my favorite consolidation of all of that stuff is something called Immunopower from Nature's NX. It's my favorite immune system regulating thing. And Lomatia, which is a Native American herb that helps to get rid of chronic viral infections. Another really good thing for viruses is monolaurin, which is essentially conjugated coconut oil, and it makes it really difficult for the virus to get into cells, helps the body cell-mediated immunity, which is part of the immune system that goes after viruses. So we want to make sure you're not anemic, that you're getting sleep patterns, that you're managing stress, that you don't have a chronic viral infection. Now, there's some neat things that you can do to help you sleep with some low-dose melatonin and something called Happy Z's, which has a little bit of taurine in it. It has some GABA aminobutyric acid, or GABA, which helps it so that you don't have too many impulses go through the synaptic cleft, and then you have that nervous system short circuit, or you have that little woodpecker that's sitting there all the time. So some natural interventions. I say this every video, but water and hydration really helps to get people so that they're less fatigued. We want to try and stay away from sugar, from high fructose corn syrup, and caffeine, because it's an artificial crutch, and what it makes, the body is dependent on that, so that you start this never-ending cyclic pathway. So chronic viral infections are really important in fatigue management. Thanks for watching the video on fatigue and what to do about it. If you perceive value, please like us, and you can see the report on fatigue down in the comment section of the video. We'll see you on the next one.